Hello students, this is Mrs. Twerk. Today we are going to go over division of decimals. Now, don't get scared because division of decimals is exactly like division of whole numbers. You just need to ignore the decimal until the end. So let's say that something costs $29.52 and 8 people are going to pay for it. So we would need to do $29.52 divided by 8. We're going to first do this doing the traditional method, so we're going to divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. I can go ahead and put my decimal point up here at the top because it's going to end up in the same spot in our answer that it is in the dividend. So let's look at 8 and 2. Can we put 8 into 2? Do any 8s fit into 2? No, they don't. So I'm going to put an X up there. Then I look at 29. How many 8s fit into 29? I know that 8 times 3 is 24, and 8 times 4 is 32. 32 is too many because it doesn't come out of 29, so I know that I'm going to put a 3 up here and multiply. 3 times 8 is 24, so that is what I will subtract from 29. 9 minus 4 is 5. 2 minus 2 is 0. I just did my subtraction step, so my next step is bring down. I bring down this 5. And I can ignore the decimal point because remember I said you just ignore it until the end. So how many times does 8 fit into 55? I know that 8 times 7 is 56, but that's too high, so it must be 8 times 6. 6 times 8 is 48. And we subtract. Cannot do 5 minus 8, so I have to borrow from this 5 and bring the 10 over. 15 minus 8 is 7. My next step would be again to bring down. I bring down this 2. How many times does 8 fit into 72? Well, that's an 8's facts problem. It goes in there 9 times. 9 times 8 is 72. So I subtract and I get a 0 here. So my final quotient is 3.69, or in this case, $3.69. Another way to look at the decimal is to ask yourself, okay, in the original dividend, how many numbers were behind the decimal point? 2 numbers. So 2 numbers need to be behind the decimal point in the quotient as well, in the answer. I'm going to also show you this problem using partial quotients. I'm going to draw my line down the side. Now, remember, in partial quotients, I'm seeing how many 8s fit into this number here. Again, I'm going to put the decimal point up here, and then now I'm just going to pretend that this is 2,952. It's not 29.52 anymore, it's 2,952. I know that 8 times 2 equals 16. So that means I also know that 8 times 200 equals 1,600. So that's what I'm going to take out first. I'm going to take out 200 8s. 200 times 8 is 1,600. So that's what I will subtract first. 2 minus 0 is 2. 5 minus 0 is 5. 9 minus 6 is 3. And 2 minus 1 is 1. Now I have 1,352. So I could not do another 200 8s. That would be too many. So let's do 100 8s. 100 times 8 is 800. So I will subtract. 2 minus 0 is 2. 5 minus 0 is 5. And I cannot do 3 minus 8, so I have to borrow from this one. It becomes a 0. I bring the 10 over, and I do 13 minus 8 equals 5. 552. Let's go ahead and take out 6. Sorry for the interruption, students. Well, I now have 552 left of my 2,952. I'm going to do 60 8s because I knew from doing the problem earlier that 6 times 8 is 48. So 60 times 8 will be 480. I'm going to subtract that. 2 minus 0 is 2. 5 minus 8 I can't do, so I have to borrow from this 5, bring the 10 over. 15 minus 8 is 7. 4 minus 4 is 0. Now I have 72. I know that 8 goes into 72 9 times. 9 times 8 is 72. So I subtract and I get 0. Now I have to add up my partial quotients on the side. 200 plus 100 is 300. 300 plus 60 is 360. And 360 plus 9 is 369. I put that up on top and I get 3.69. Again, if I don't want to put the decimal on top right away, at the end I just look at how many digits I have behind my decimal point, and I have the same number of digits behind that decimal point in my answer. And that is how you do division of a decimal number by a whole number. Thank you for listening.